Fans showing up through the thick and thin of this weather. Thick because it is a little humid outside. It feels like you're kind of swimming through. It's 40 degrees Celsius.
That's right. So to put that in perspective for you Fahrenheiters, it's about 104 degrees Fahrenheit outside today.
Which means that it's absolutely disgusting, and I hate it all.
It is really bad here.
It's terrible. You walk outside and you feel like you're just getting choked to death.
Well, we're going to see Alpha E start with the Genji. And Youngjin will actually remain on Soldier, so triple DPS here. D.Va-less, solo tank with double support here for KongDoo Panthera. This is becoming more popular. It's an Oasis exclusive right now. Sometimes you see it on Ruins, but not really. Not with a Soldier. The Soldier's going to help to give some extra damage, some extra finishing power to the Pharah.
Well, Edison zapped down. We'll use that recoil. Goes right back in front of the Winston, but not going to get taken down. But as I say that, Dink comes in from behind. Doesn't get rid of him. Rocket's still flying through, looking to build up that barrage. Rit's going to die a few away with the defense matrix. Overall thing going to be about halfway. Gets taken down. Daydream finding the kill, and Alpha U barely surviving as he skirts over to the side. Dink follows up, gets a second kill. Now his fielder's going to fall down. The point has unlocked. KongDoo Panthera pushing forward, finding Ion, taking him down. Now Daydream also going to be joining him as the K comes up with a double kill. Edison answers for the enemy Tracer, but cannot stop the cap.
The problem for GC Busan Wave is they don't have any way to deal with this far. They have no long-range hit scan. The dive is intelligent here for this map type, but if you can't knock the Pharah out of the sky, you're really struggling to kill anybody. I mean, your supports are your best bet to get kills, and Youngjin can sustain so much with his biotic field, and you can see he can do some extra burst damage with his grenades. It's so tough to actually approach against a well-positioned Soldier when they have the Pharah there as well.
Drops down, does get knocked off that high ground. So decent for the side of GC Busan, but as I say that, it's going to be Fielder falling. Ion and Ritz popped out of the back. So seems like a pretty one fight for KongDoo Panthera unless the remaining members can pull off a miracle right about now. Dive forward, that's going to kill off Ritz. Youngjin's going to get Ritz back into the fight, and they will just go ahead and hold the point for now. Pulse bomb ready to go from Decay. Does he want to push in? Doesn't need to. Gets the spray down at a distance there onto Daydream and nearly follows up for the kill onto Edison with the help of Youngjin. They'll get him with the Helix Rockets.
Remember, I talked about this a lot last season, but especially with the res here, the Soldier almost operates as a tank in this triple DPS against Dive because he survives so long. He draws so many resources from DC Busan Wave, and then you find yourselves wondering, who are we trying to dive? Who are we trying to kill with this composition? The Soldier would be the obvious choice, but he lives so long, you eat your cooldowns. Fielder's going to make the swap here.
Oh, Barrage coming down, just looking for Ion, and he gets him. Alpha E will be able to get that Pharah out of the sky. The res might just be coming through from Luffy. He's already popped the Valkyrie. Be cruising around, but no res to be gone yet. There we go. See it come through, but Alpha E does follow up, and he gets Luffy for that. So a punish on the Mercy. Attack Visor coming down. Finds Fielder at the start, follows up for Daydream. Busan Wave really struggling to get in here as Youngjin comes up with a triple.
As you can see,
get jumped on, doesn't have a biofield. That they get me back.
Even without the biofield, he just lives so long, and now everyone's dead. Like, if he had the biofield, imagine how difficult it would have been to kill him. Either way he lives, he's just so much more sustainable than like a McCree, for example. GC Busan Wave have a huge amount of ultimates here, but it's now or never.
Okay, the dive in does come through. Ion manages to get in there. That's going to be a sound barrier out. Dragon Blade comes through for Alpha E. Couple swipes in on the Roar, but the answering sound blade. Sound barrier from Coma denies a lot of the damage away, and Roar will live as he leaps up onto the high ground. Reflection here, Alpha E trying to stay alive, and Roar will rejoin. Still halfway to that Primal Rage. It's not going to happen for a while, and Alpha E off screen. Finishes the mining kill on a Youngjin. Decay pushing forward, does have the pulse bomb. Juicy group of people built up there, but cannot get the stick, can't get any kills. Coma's going to fall. It seems like KongDoo Panthera will be handing this point over.
They needed the burst damage from the Dragon Blade to actually pick up kills, but what's really respectable about what GC Busan Wave did was they were able to take this point only really using the Blade and the Sound Barrier. Made it work against a countering Sound Barrier. Youngjin will make the swap over to the Roadhog here. They're looking for some more extra pick potential. If they win one fight, it's all over. It's going to make it so much more difficult now to deal with Ding's Pharah, though you have the threat in the sky and on the ground for instant kill potential. Armor, as we see a pause.
Okay.
Oh, Fielder's going to go ahead and drop out that rally.
Maybe a repeat tech issue, as you say.
Oh, it's a Coma disconnect, as you can see on the UI.
Yep, that is a bad thing.
Well, this can actually be, I think this was fixed, but this has been something that has caused issues in the past. Very rarely, but sometimes you lose your ult charge, actually, when this happens, so it can be a cause for replaying maps. Hopefully that doesn't happen here. The pause came in pretty quick, so hopefully he will be able to reconnect.
That would be quite unfortunate if that was going to happen. Man, we had, a pretty clean season overall, get up to this point, and now we have a tech issue in the first match of the round of 8.
Yeah, well, I think it's our first disconnect we've had all season, actually. So that's
it's
a pretty good sign for our setup here. These things actually often get hidden, but we're not telling you guys any lies. Like, literally, this is the first time we've had a straight-up disconnect in an entire regular season. So connection has been not only stabilized, but is, in fact, oh my god.
Okay, he's
okay, so he will return with
he's
0
here.
ults.
Okay,
0 ult
he is
percentage.
coming back in. That's going to be a pulse out from Edison as we dive straight back into the action. Youngjin going to fall. If you guys are just joining us, it's 99 to 30% at the moment with Busan Wave in control of the point on the first round of Oasis. We'll be pushing straight back through. Roar the Primal Rage going to get top back up. And it's just to stay alive. Another pocket's going to be coming through for Luffy as he goes over onto the high ground. Alpha Yi playing forward, has that armor from Fielder. Not going to be losing it. Point's still going to be held by KongDoo Panthera. Barrage ready to go, as is the Valkyrie.
They will stick with this Roadhog pick despite the early kill there. You can tell Koma's, ult charge was reset, but they are approaching this point right now. Busan wait.
Oh!
No.
He's here. I see him. No! Koma!
No.
You were there for... Oh, no.
Well, this is definitely going to be one of those moments that goes down in Contenders history. So
I legitimately just fell forward on my desk. He's pushed back. He's like, I'm putting myself in the corner. I don't know what's happening anymore.
yeah.
What is going on?
Well, he's keeping his cool, given the circumstances. It was really unfortunate. Obviously, the rally went off for Busan Wave. They were able to win the fight, maintain armor on most heroes. Youngjin was the first to die, so the Roadhog comp not working out. They didn't have speed because Koma was in the spawning room, and that's part of the reason why all of that fight went so one-sidedly Busan Wave's way. You could tell there weren't that many kills because everyone reset back to the point to wait for Koma, who came out of the spawn, of course, with 0% ult charge, because that is how it's the best way we have currently in the game to rejoin, is to put the player back in, as if if you at home have ever joined into a quick match game that you didn't start. Obviously, you come in, choose your hero, and you don't have any ult percentage. It's kind of a similar type of rejoin there. So he only built up to 9%, so when he does rejoin inevitably here once again, if we don't have a regame, then that will once again be reset. But that's, I think, a little bit not what's on Panthera's mind right now. I think it's the overall situation is a little bit frustrating.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of, can we actually play the game today? Not sure what's going on. I mean, a couple different PC rigs being used here, so this seems like this might be some other problem. Like, I'm not sure if he's just disconnecting. I'm not sure if the power is kicking on the computer itself. That could be a reason to try to swap, instead of trying to hot swap a power supply out of a unit, just try to go ahead and shift the full PC. But if two of them are surging, then it seems like it might be, that could be an electricity issue, electrical issue.
Yeah, I mean, remember
that section of the booth, I'm not sure. I'm spitballing.
Remember that it's been 40 degrees Celsius in Korea all day today, so when you have that additional heat with all this equipment, it can add a lot of factors. It looks to be as well just something I noticed, which is kind of unique. There's been a few players historically who've done this. I think Waka Waka did for a little while. He uses a wireless mouse.
Yeah, there's been a few in esports.
Yeah, I mean, that's
that I can think
very
of
rare.
that have used it, but yeah, not my cup of tea, not my fave, but
Youngjin as well appears to have a wireless mouse.
I can respect it if that's what you want to go for. Then
there's obviously a very minute in today's world amount of latency versus the cable.
Yeah.
And it was only really in 2010 that mouse bungees were developed in Korea, which is, of course, the device you see that holds the cord up so you don't get your cord tangled. And I think that some people still just prefer the feel of wireless. And especially if you're playing like Lucio or Brigitte, for example, as Youngjin has been playing a lot recently, that sort of tiny amount of latency that isn't even noticeable by like the human eye in most cases may not really be that big of a factor. For me, it's always the fear that there will be some sort of other wireless interference nearby that might cause it to disconnect in the middle of a match like this. That would terrify me more than the latency itself.
Well, that's all I got. I had no follow-up to me saying that.
Yeah, well,
I'm not sure what to make of this one, guys.
Well, I don't know what to make of this Decay Tracer drawing. I noticed just now for the first time.
Looks great.
Or it's not even a drawing, it's Photoshop, obviously,
yeah,
but...
him squeeze it. I don't know what Zarya's saying in the background. I can't really read that. It's a little bit too...
Yeah, I can't really...
The lettering is a little too close together on some of those for me to tell what's really happening, but...
Yeah, I can't really read that one either.
Porticay's mother, she's here to watch her son play some Zarya as well. And, you know, she's not getting the opportunity to do that right now.
Not at the moment.
So
no Zarya on their squad either at the moment.
Yeah, so. I'm not entirely certain how long this is going to take to fix the issue, guys. But we'll give you any and all updates that we receive from production as we get them.
Yeah,
that's about all I can promise at the moment.
Pretty cool to see the throwback to with the group studio sponsorship here for GC Busan Wave. It's a cat. It's a throwback to their original team, Fat Cat, which then of course became Intro Wave. And I just like little things like that.
Cat's, you know, got that bandana rocking and all that stuff.
Yeah, the cat looks like
green hair.
Pretty chill.
Interesting.
Cat's like
it's got
the
like
kind of cat that's like
5 piercings in each ear.
You go in there and you know you want to ask the cat for like, hey, I know I'm not supposed to do this, but like, are you cool with me doing this? That cat definitely said yeah. Like, you come here a lot. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I think that cat's dealing catnip.
It could be.
Hey, you got any of that catnip?
Oh, this is a really cool Zenyatta.
I've never given my cat catnip, actually. I don't know how she would react. I've seen cats freak out, and then also where they just lay there and do nothing for hours.
It can have varying effects. Obviously, it depends on the dosage. Usually, like if you give a lot,
bucket on.
If you give a lot, like that's what's going to cause the lethargy after the initial hyperness.
Yeah.
And then if you give a small amount, it usually attracts the cat to whatever object that's nearby, and there's a bit of euphoria, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
Source, I give catnip to my cats like maybe once a month.
I've just decided I just never did it. I never purchased any. So
it's not an addictive substance or anything like that.
Maybe one day, Nova, as my cat is named, will discover what catnip is and what it's like. Maybe she'll like it.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
You gotta ask the group studio cat for the hookup.
Yeah, exactly. I like how out of you and I'm the one who has a cat that's named after a StarCraft character.
Yeah, mine are just kind of named after mundane objects. Well, so in situations like this in Korea, the last resort is a regame always. No one ever wants to do a regame. But sometimes, you know, after circumstances have changed past a certain threshold,
yeah,
it becomes necessary. For example, in the Pro League days for StarCraft Brood War and for the somewhat smaller StarCraft 2 era of Pro League, when we didn't have resume from replay and stuff like that, when regames would happen, they were super rare. The game would be replayed several times until both players had the original spawning locations that they had in the original game, just to further continue the integrity of the game. So usually, like what would happen in Pro League is when someone disconnects in the early game, because it would always happen in the early game, you would always know, like right off the get-go, like I've got lag, or I've got this issue, or the Ethernet cable's got a problem, or my mouse has an issue. It would always be solved really quickly. We had like resume from save in StarCraft Brood War, but it was kind of weird, the implementation of that. But yeah, like it would always be like the last resort to regame a game ever, even if like the only thing that people did was like mine and like buy one SCV. You know, it's the competitive integrity of the game is you play the game as it was, like everything you did, every moment, every you know, click of the mouse like needs to be preserved, and I think that's something to respect, and I think that's why we're taking so much time to try to make sure he can at least get back into the game as quickly as possible, so we can resume that game as much as possible, despite the probably like maybe 20 to 30% ult charge he's lost, as well as spawn time during this game. We can get as close as we can to that regular game with no blemishes.
Getting close to that regular game sounds great, but guys, we're going to take another commercial break. When we come back, hopefully we have everything taken care of.
Yeah, I want
this first round of Oasis, it's 99 to 40 some odd percent.
47, I think it was.
It's something like that.
Well,
I
we
just want the game to start, and it is!
Okay, so
56%.
Coma will rejoin the game, 56%.
Okay.
Youngjin respawning, of course, with no ult charge really after that initial pick there. Alpha E's built most of a Dragon Blade. Everyone's going to regroup because they have to, because Coma was essentially dead. Had to respawn. They have a limited amount of time for retake now and no ultimate, so the swap here to the triple, well, I guess I call it a triple tank. The Reinhardt Zarya Brigitte comp is here with Ding holding onto this barrage.
Yeah, they want to go for the Moira because they can build up that coalescence much faster than they can build up for a sound barrier, but the blade's coming out from Alpha Yi.
Still got that armor.
Back away. Only got to get a couple swipes in, but the first one is going to be on the Youngjin. Takes him down. Luffy, can he get the res? Yes, he can. Pops that one in. Alpha Yi comes around the side. Edison finds two with a pulse bomb, taking down Roar and Ding. Charge forward here from Ritz as GC Busan Wave moves up to 94%. KongDoo Panthera backcapping at the moment. They have to go over and contest this. Will be able to do so. Decay finds a kill on the fielder, but Decay will die. Alpha E finds that hit. And we will finally go ahead and finish this first round. Goes the way of GC Busan Wave 100-99, but you have to wonder with all of these tech issues how things would have transpired if it had progressed normally. An unfortunate circumstance, certainly, for KongDoo Panthera.
With about probably, 20 to 30 seconds of game time missing for Coma, and the swap there to the Moira at the end with the Brigitte, Reinhardt Zarya. They were hoping for the sustained healing to win them that fight. This is one of those matches you've got to put out of your mind now. You've got to reset, wipe your head, and then come into this next control map.
Yeah, this is going to be about mental fortitude here for the rest of Oasis. Bounce back, try to regain that momentum that you had at the start. Yeah, very unfortunate circumstance here for KongDoo Panthera, but as the veteran squad going up against these rookies, if anyone can turn around and come back into this and find a victory, it should be this team. Went undefeated in the regular season, the only team to do so across both groups.
Well, Youngjin is pulling out the Brigitte yet again, but he's not going to be met with Alpha E's Genji this time. It's the Pharah battle, so we'll see if he sticks with that or makes a swap to the McCree. It is going to be Ritz on the D.Va. As I was talking about before, we're going to see a little bit more D.Va, I think, out of GC Busan Wave. Knowing they're facing Decay, you can just try to counter those Gravitons with the D.Va itself.
Oh, Discord Orbs in. He gets moved back to the side. Essen not going to be able to get that final shot there on a Ding. He is still dangerously low. Cap does come through for KongDoo Panthera, and yeah, Ritz runs him down out of the skies. Getting rid of that pesky Pharah.
Yeah, and Edison now has line of sight advantage. This Youngjin Brigitte pick is not doing much for them, and I don't know how long they're going to be able to hold the point with this.
Shots coming down, Decay falling low. Pops a bubble up on himself, stays alive, but Roar can't say the same. Edison able to find the hit there onto the Reinhardt. That follows up point blank onto Youngjin. This close, takes a rocket, kites back, but the cap's going to be coming through from GC Busan Wave here, it would seem.
Yep, only 25% gained here. KongDoo Panthera won the cap despite losing the fight and losing line of sight. So they're going to stick with this comp one more time to try to build ultimates. This isn't a disaster for Panthera by any means because they did pretty efficiently build those tank ultimates to half, as well as that rally, which is now basically ready for Youngjin. It's going to take, some left clicks here or just time, and he will have that in just a moment. Once again, Alpha Yi just looking to circumvent this tank composition. Uh-oh.
Nice shot there on the Coma. Passive regen's going to be coming through.
Really nice
follow-up. It would have shut them down instantly.
Nice angle of approach here for the tank line, but it's not going to be enough to stop the barrage.
Oh, he's trying to hug into the corner. The barrage coming down, finds Decay. Not going to get anybody else. Ding takes down Edison at the same time. The Reds will come through, so the Zarya's back into the fight. Decay getting closer and closer to that Graviton surge. 30% away from it as Ion gets tagged from behind. Falls low. Rockets coming in. He's got a Discord Orb, and he will get chewed up. Seems like KongDoo Panthera is going to be looking for
Ding is killing it.
Coming through.
I mean, that was, sure, they won the advantage there on the fight through the rally, but Ding just came up massive there. The way he dispatched of Daydream was almost casual. As Edison's now going to wait here for the runaround. Unfortunately for him, Youngjin, I think, has an idea that he's in there.
Oh.
Yeah, he looked just scrapped. He's dead.
Nicely played.
Youngjin is just the king of getting these corner kills many times.
He is the king of Brigitte.
And now
the best Brigitte that we have in the tournament.
Yeah, and now that we have this advantage in terms of control meter for KongDoo Panthera, and they have positional advantage, and they're still running a Pharah themselves, they have the counter the enemy Pharah and ult advantage in that matchup. It's going to be very difficult for GC Busan Wave to approach. They're probably going to have to bait out the tank ultimates once before they can ever hope to grab this point. How they do that is going to be the split, it looks like, here with a flank from Edison, but they've been found out.
Ding's gonna take down Alpha Yi. Shots coming through, but he can't get the headshot tag. So Ding will be alive for the moment. Roar falling low. Trying to stay alive, will be able to do so as they take down Ion.
That was
Busan Wave have a couple ults that try to get themselves through here.
Yeah, that was
with
really
the Primal Rage.
It was really greedy how they split into 2 groups like that. That's not how you're going to force out tank ultimates. You can maybe get some opening kills, and then you could win the point that way. But with the tank ultimates that they're against now, they don't have that liberty anymore. This is do or die. They have to win this crushingly.
Well, it's going to be a shadow down from Roar, but I'm not really sure what he was trying to accomplish with that. Not going to be getting any lockdowns, no kills to be found from it. So one less ultimate. Self-destruct toss in from Ritz, looking for a pick, not going to find it. Busan Wave starts contesting on the point. Youngjin's going to pop the rally. Just to sustain now. The Transcendence is there to keep that armor stacked up. The healing to be helping to maintain it. Decay, not that high of energy here with the Zarya. Manages to just burn through Ritz's mech here. We'll take him down. It seems like GC Busan Wave might just be losing here on the side of Gordon's, tying us up and pushing us to a final round on Oasis. Everything going to be decided on University.
Everything went according to plan there for KongDoo Panthera for the first time now. Technical difficulties gone. Control of the center there with the tank lineup. Ultimate's never really a factor. It was just the fact that the tank lineup is so sustainable, especially when Youngjin is on the Brigida. He gets a pick off there onto Edison. And he's also the one who kept that Mercy, or excuse me, the Pharah alive. He kept Ding alive during that moment where Ritz tried to blow him up using the defense matrix and getting into his face. And Decay was patient with the grab. Had things got even worse, the grab would have been their saving grace, but just wasn't even required. And
no. No. Don't you do it. Coma. You stay in that game.
I think this is something else entirely.
You stay in that game, Coma.
For them to be dropped in lobby would be insanely unlikely, I think.
Well, he's the one who's looking a bit,
I think everyone's going to have a similar expression to that at the moment, Achilios.
That's true. That's true.
Well, I mean, momentum has at least shifted back into Panthera's favor, but you could tell Coma is clearly affected by the situation that we have here. Of course, these back-to-back pauses and disconnects. And just talking about that last map a little bit more, I think it's it kind of plays into the storylines we've been talking about how both these teams run really similar comps of really similar players, like in terms of DPS is flexing. Well, Coma, we can confirm Coma's the one who has the issue. But the difference being that GC Busan Wave actually tried to change it up. They tried to run the more dive-focused comp. They ran the Winston, right? The Winston Diva trying to counter the grabs. They put Edison on the Widowmaker. And that in itself is one of those signs of respect, I think, from GC Busan Wave saying, on control, we're going to give the benefit of the doubt to you guys in terms of the Reinhardt Zarya. We will not try to mirror that. That would be almost suicidal because we're both really good at this style, but you're just a little bit better than us, so we're going to try something different. And that's a cool thing conceptually. It means they're preparing for different compositions here, not trying to run to their necessarily strengths, but maybe try to find counters to KongDoo Panthera. But the worry is that KongDoo Panthera has already had the answers. They didn't go pure Reinhardt Zarya with Youngjin on the McCree. They put him on the Brigida, and they had the Pharah there to not only counter the enemy Pharah, but knowing that if they could control Edison's Widowmaker, his Pharah would never be contested against Dive, just as we saw on the first map. They ended up losing the first map through, you know, more elements than just GC Busan Wave's play. But, you know, I like the way that both these teams are thinking about control right now on Oasis. And I give still the advantage to Panthera because they're one step ahead, already prepared for the comp that GC Busan Wave is running, but also respect to GC Busan for, I think instead of trying to fight fire with a smaller fire, trying to bring something else to the table here. Speaking of the table, I don't know what's going on below the table, what's going on in the rig for Coma. But as far as we could tell, visual confirmation that he was still in game at the moment of the pause.
Yeah. Hard to say what the exact issue is. We haven't heard anything from production yet, but see people working on the issue at the moment as we try to alleviate the problem and get back into the game.
Yeah.
Get on that final round here. We're ready to kick it off on University. At least this one happened at the start, before anyone had left the spawn room.
Yeah, this is what leads me to believe this is not a disconnect issue, but rather...
You know, I blame DJ Khaled.
You know, it was not the best performance I've ever seen.
He's just sitting there, and he's just another one. It's like, another problem.
Oh, I thought you were just saying that like his performance at the Overwatch League Grand Finals like extended into the impact he made in that moment extended this far. Oh
man, yeah. This is when we find out that we're gonna have DJ Khaled playing at our final in a couple weeks. I'm like, oh, I wish I didn't say those things on broadcast. Can we delete the VOD?
Look, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Music is not objective. Okay, performances are not objective.
It's true.
Although I am very objectively happy with the poses made by our Western fans here in the audience.
God, why are you always gonna do that on camera, John?
What's the pen he's got on this hat, though? I'm curious. See that? I wonder what kind of pin it is.
This would have been better in reverse if it started out with that wide angle and zoomed into his face the entire time. Okay.
Coma will be reconnecting.
So it seemed like he did disconnect, but he's back in with time on the clock.
Okay.
So we should be good.
Don't get too ahead of ourselves here, Achilios. But compositionally, Edison is countering what Panthera loves to run. They have Alpha E on the Roadhog against Fielder running this Ana. They've seen on this University setup so many times. And Edison can deal with the Pharah. They're going to boost in here with Daydream, but already caught. The heal deny didn't hit as much as they would have liked, but they control this for now. Alpha E with the flank.
Shots coming through from the right clicks here. Alpha E just trying to break the barrier. Turns over, gets a bit of damage in onto Decay. Pushes into the back, hook down.
Nice
Gonna
hook.
be pushing Decay straight into the pits, and now he's gonna have to rejoin, and that's gonna be Roar falling as well as Coma and Luffy. No supports, no main tank. The other one's in the pit. GC Busan Wave gonna grab this first point. Decay comes back up, buys a little bit of time, but that's all it's going to be for. Gets himself a little bit of extra ult charge,
Yeah,
so already at 67%.
He was able to both get ult charge and eliminate some of that percentage that GC Busan Wave would have had. So I think it's all worth it here, but just showing that Roadhog on this map, I mean, even though you don't get the technical kill, it's practically a kill. I mean, you're so irrelevant if you get hooked into that pit that your team is then fighting a 5v6. So positional advantage here with the Deadeye now, and it's very tough for KongDoo Panthera to get Ding into position.
Flashbang in, not going to be finding much, and Alpha E does manage to stay alive, taking that breather. Fielder just backing him up with that bio nade. It's going to be a Transcendence out from Luffy. Roar trying to get to that Earth Shatter, nearly has it. Rocket's coming down from Ding, finds one. Roar goes off the side of the map, I believe, might have botched a charge and set himself plummeting to his own doom. But still going to be KongDoo Panthera looking to come out on top at this point as Ritz will be taken down. They eliminate Daydream, Kite back coming through from Alpha E to stay alive. Flip comes in, 42% gain for GC Busan Wave.
It was a beautiful play by Luffy to transcend in that moment because he knew that Fielder had just used the Biotic Grenade for his teammates, so they knew that there was no way that heal deny could come through. Now they've got a nice set of ults here. GC Busan Wave has 6, but they still have positional disadvantage. So.
Shatter down from Roar, but the barrier's up though, just block it all. Marathon Surge coming through, but the sound barrier answers, and Ding is gonna get taken out. Fielder lands to sleep as he tries to use the barrage. Rez comes back in. Deadeye down from Edison.
Coma
dodges the shot onto Coma, but he does skirt his way out of there, but Edison follows up and gets rid of the Pharah yet again. KongDoo Panthera is still going to be in control of the point, and Roar nearly has another Earth Shatter. Self-destruct taking down Decay. Busan Wave still moving aggressive, still pushing up. Shatter ready to go. Luffy popping the Transcendence, just keeping everybody alive. Hook in, comes through. Not going to find the kill in on a Roar yet. Earth Shatter comes down, locks down Coma, the Fire Strike takes him out, and Roar is going to fall as well. Bio Grenade tops up everybody else on GC Busan Wave as they move into the point. KongDoo Panthera has been able to exceed their percentage, but now the flip comes through. How quickly can they regain control?
Fielder's doing so much for his squad right now. He's hitting insane sleep darts onto Ding, which haven't always landed a follow-up kill, but it's just messing up his positioning so he can't circumvent the setup here. Edison's doing a ton of damage as well, and as you can see, Ding is really struggling to find a window, find an angle here. He does get over Ion now. This is their opportunity. There's a huge shatter!
Massive shatter this time for Roar. Pushing forward, but the Bio Grenade helps keep so many people alive. Alpha E falling low, takes a breather. Edison gonna die as he draws out the Deadeye. But looking to come through off the back of the big play here from Roar. Ritz taken out of the mech, gonna be eliminated. Decay dealing with that one. Daydream tags in to buy some time. Fire Strike not gonna connect, but they put that Discord Orb in onto that Lucio. And and they eliminate him. KongDoo Panthera currently have control. They nearly have the barrage grab combo.
Look at this flank here for Ding as well, just slowing down the approach. They don't have enough percentage to use the grab to just win the map, though. If they were at 85 right now, different story, but they're not there yet. Ion's positioning is everything.
We're trying to charge there, not going to find it.
Grab.
Grab's going to be pinned into the wall. Looking for the follow-up
Huge fire
kill.
strike.
Big fire strike comes through. It's going to be wrist popped out of the mech. The bio grenade in the sound barrier, however, keeping everybody else topped up. And the Baby Diva is still going to be alive. Charge forward from Youngjin. Takes out Edison on the backside of the fight. Almost going to be eliminated, but Luffy is still alive and has that armor ready to roll. So he's going to be pretty safe here on the Zenyatta. Earth Shatter ready from Roar, just holding this, waiting for the final approach from GC Busan Wave as they now push up to 95%.
The question is, where's Daydream? I think he's going to have to tag on, or maybe nobody will. It's the charge in.
Oh, he charges, and that's just going to be another shatter coming through. Callan's back at it again, another one, says Roar, throws it down, locks him in. Ritz answers back with a double kill off the self-destructing, and Roar both falling. Koma pops the res, putting the Reinhardt back in the fight as we go into overtime. KongDoo Panthera need to hold this one out as long as they possibly can, if not just take it all the way to 100%. GC Busan Wave, several ultimates to work with as they try to get back through. That's going to be the grab coming in the bubble, blocking out the Earth Shatter. Not sure if it caught anybody in the backside, but it doesn't seem so. The dash coming in from Koma, but he gets taken out of the sky, taken down. GC Busan will go ahead and flip this now 80%. Can they get this victory?
What did we just see? Got that hook onto Koma, made Guardian Angel perfectly. I lost my voice off that one. GC Busan Wave may yet turn this around. No tank ultimates to approach the point here. Youngjin is almost at that rally, but it's too far away for them to use it now.
Pushing in, cutting up their way through the side room. No ultimates here other than the rally, which is coming up very shortly. Hook comes through, but a nice bubble will absorb that damage. Shield bashing onto Edison. He's going to be the first one to fall. No reses here from the side of GC Busan Wave. Youngjin spam it away. They get the pin, and it's going to be another boss. No! Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
Well, this is quite the close-up that we have.
The pauses just get more and more intense as we head into this one. 99-99. Losing the point is GC Busan Wave at the moment. They still maintain control. And yet again, Koma will be disconnected from the lobby.